Hi, Aquarius. Hope you guys are doing really, really well. My name is Brian. I am your queer psychic bestie, and I have a reading for you today. This is going to be your month at a glance, Aquarius. So this reading is going to be for August. We're going to be doing a Celtic cross, which gives me kind of just a little bit of look, like a little bit of a look at everything going on. Gives me a wide view of the month ahead for you. So yeah, we'll be talking about pretty much everything. This is for Aquarius. So if you have Aquarius anywhere in your chart, maybe you just vibe with Aquarius, you could be a cross watcher, whatever the case, this reading may resonate for you. As always, this is the internet, so take what resonates, leave what does not, okay? If you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do that through email or form submission on my website. All right. Let's see what's going on for you, Aquarius. We're almost done. Can I get one more? Thank you. Perfect. Oh, two. I'll take it. Cool. All right, let's dive in. Bottom of the deck is your challenge. Represents what you're not seeing, what you're not looking at. We've got the King of Wands, the Page of Pentacles, and the Ace of Cups. Queen of Pentacles is there too. Okay. Interesting, Aquarius. From first glance, it looks like your challenge is accepting love. It looks like your challenge is opening up to the possibility of love in August. Ooh, let me hold on. I'm orienting myself. There we go. This is really interesting. So King of Wands is someone who's very passionate. In the challenge, it can be someone who comes across a little bit too flirty, a little bit too flirtatious. But the Page of Pentacles is an offer, and then the Ace of Cups is love. I find it interesting, especially with the Queen of Pentacles there, that this is all in the challenge. Queen of Pentacles is a mom card for me. So for some of you, it could be mothers, but for others of you, it's like, I feel like some of you had a mother that passed on this idea of, like, love is difficult. Like, there's this feeling here of like love is going to be difficult. And I feel like as a result, a lot of you, August is really going to be testing you about how open you are, how like receptive you are to the things that you want, because you're still kind of like, well, no, I'm good. Let's keep it at arm's distance. So interesting. Let's talk about it. All right, you start out with the High Priestess in your first card. This is your like current situation, what's going on, what is the energy you're holding right now. High Priestess is great. Card of Pisces, psychic intuition, trusting your gut, trusting your guides, just like it is a very instinctual card. That's what I feel more so for you, Aquarius, for August. Like I feel like you guys are trusting your instincts a lot this month. And I feel like you are letting your gut feelings as well as your heart sort of guide you. You know, the High Priestess does represent feminine water energy, so that's going to be very like emotion driven, very intuitive. Your crossing card is the Knight of Swords. So in a Celtic cross, the crossing card is either a help or a hindrance. What I think is really interesting here, Aquarius, is that you have a little bit of an energy of both. It feels like as a help, this is you kind of moving forward, moving probably rather fast. Knight of Swords is the second fastest card in the deck. You know, this is definitely you taking the reins, I want to say. But I also feel like it's a little bit of a hindrance because I do feel like there's some criticism coming in for you. So whether or not that is yourself, another party, someone else, it just feels a little bit like you have, like, there's gonna be some friction this month. Interesting. About what? Talk to me about this. Ace of Wands and the Hermit. Hyper independence. King of Pentacles. Six of Swords. Okay. But the Six of Swords came out crossed. When a card comes out sideways for me, it's a conflict. The conflict, this makes total sense. Okay, Hermit, King of Pentacles, Ace of Pentacles. A lot of you guys have spent probably a long time single. And a lot of you guys have been working really hard on your self-view, your self-image, your perception of yourself. And it feels like now the friction here, it doesn't even, maybe it's not even another person. Maybe it's just you. Maybe it's just you kind of fighting yourself. I feel like with the King of Pentacles here and the Ace of Wands, some of you need to work on like your view of what makes someone a desirable partner. Okay, I feel like a lot of you guys may be under this guise of like, well, you know, I'm not very like financially established, so I'm not desirable right now. Or like, oh, I don't own my own business, so I'm not desirable now. You know, I've gone out with plenty of business owners, babes, and trust me when I tell you, having money does not make someone desirable. Okay, I feel like a lot of you guys need to start looking at like why you kind of dog on yourself this way. Like, why do you say these things? Where does it come from? For a lot of you, like I said, it could come from a maternal figure, a feminine figure here, but a lot of you guys are, you harp on it. Like, it's like you don't give yourself a break. You're always just kind of like, okay, well, I have to do better than this, and I have to do better than that, and I have to do better than that. And it's like this never ending self-fulfilling prophecy of just always wanting to do better. And it's not wrong to want to do better. That's not a problem, you know, if you want to better yourself, period, you know. But I feel like you guys do it in like a hateful way almost. I hate to be like mean to you like that, but it's almost like you guys kind of, it's never good enough. Like the things that you do, the way that you talk to yourself, it just never seems to be enough. And it feels like as love enters your life, this friction then forms between like you and your higher self, because your higher self is like, hey babe, you're ready for this love. And then you're like, no, we're not. We have nothing to show for it. And that's a big problem here. And in your headspace, it's interesting because it's a Chariot. You do want victory. Whatever this is that's coming in for you, whether it's love or not, like I said, for a lot of you, it's love. It's like you do want good things in your life. I feel like in general in August, you're going to be very retrospective, you know, like really looking inward and being like, I want good things. Why do I not allow myself to have them? That's the kind of energy I feel like you are bringing to August. Okay, if I pick the card up, Ace of Pentacles, yeah. And even when it comes to work, you're like, I want good things. I deserve money. I deserve, you know, all these comforts that life has to offer me. And it feels like you're asking yourself, King of Swords, why won't I let myself have it? Why am I not, like, I'm going to be real brutal here, Aquarius. You are the only person holding yourself captive here. Okay? You are the only person that's really standing in the way of your own happiness right now. And I feel like with that Three of Wands and that King of Swords, like I said, you guys have this really strong tendency to kind of knock yourself down. And I feel like some of you guys hide it under the guise of like, oh, I'm being humble. Like I'm humbling myself. There's a difference between like being humble and then like being mean to yourself. A lot of you guys are mean to yourselves. Okay. And I feel like August is really going to test your boundaries about like what is acceptable, what's an acceptable way to treat yourself, and what is not an acceptable way to treat yourself. Okay, bottom of the deck is the Queen of Pentacles. Like I said, a lot of you, this is a mother issue. It's a mother wound. Okay, in your physical world, you have the world. Love that. So the world in the physical sphere tells me that things in your physical existence are changing and shifting, and cycles are ending so that new cycles can begin. This is really like a very positive placement for the world in a Celtic cross. So I do feel like the way I'm hearing it is like, as you go after your endeavors, literally Knight of Pentacles, as you go after your endeavors this month, I do feel like it does cause a little bit of a shakeup in your physical world. You know, this could look like, oh my goodness, the mom wound is so heavy. The Empress just came out. Y'all, the mom is really, she's ambushing you in this reading. With the Page of Cups and the Empress, some of you may have, like, your connection to mom may change this month. How much time you're speaking to her, the spotlight you're really giving her may shift, and that might be the physical change for you. You know, not really giving her a platform here. With that Knight of Pentacles and the Page of Cups, I feel like I want to remind you that someone who says something to hurt you, and this goes for everyone, not just mom, but if someone says something to hurt you, and then they put it under the guise of like, well, I'm just telling you that because I love you. You need to be very careful about these types of people, okay? Because if someone is giving you, there's a difference between like giving some tough love. Like I give tough love readings, but I would never come up to someone and be like, like if you don't work harder, you're going to be a really big failure. That's just mean, babe. That's a bully. Okay? Some of you guys need to recognize here and be very careful about the way people speak to you and the way you let them speak to you. Okay? You just got to keep this in mind. People do not insult us to our face to follow it up with, well, I'm telling you that because I love you, because they actually love us. They're actually just a bully in disguise. Okay? Be very careful here in August. In the past, you do have the Emperor. So for some of you, Emperor, Empress, this could be a father figure as well. It doesn't have to be. Keep in mind when I say mother figure, father figure, these are just, we all have the traits of masculine and feminine. Some of us are raised by 2 women, 2 men. It can vary. So just fit your own parental figures in here, okay? But with the Emperor, this is the divine masculine. This is the go-getter. But for some of you, you could have pursued being a business owner in the past here, or you were in some sort of like managerial role. The Emperor can be a little bit of everything. I can't make it up. The Emperor. I can't. To clarify, the Emperor is crazy. Some of you could have really been in some strong seats of power here in the past. 10 of Wands, but there's like burden. Okay, I'm sort of understanding this now. Can I get one more? I feel like some of you, okay, I understand now. Some of you were in a position here that you didn't want. You have the double Emperor, the 10 of Wands, the 2 of Wands, the Magician, and the 3 of Swords. A lot of you here, wherever you were in the past, you realized that even if it was noteworthy or it was a high position, it wasn't making you happy. It wasn't giving back to you in the way that you had hoped. And so it feels like, I'm trying hard to not to sneeze here, sorry. With the Magician, it feels like maybe this is why you kind of have the mom wound acting up here, because it feels like you stepped away from something. You're still processing the grief here for sure. Making a decision that's hard, even if it's good for us, still leaves us with grief to process. Okay, so be aware of that. Go slow. The healing journey is not linear here, babe. All right. But it does feel like it feels like you left something behind because that's what you wanted to do. And I feel like this may have been like the start of the friction with the mom figure here. Because moving into the future, you have the 4 of Pentacles. I feel like this is definitely like where the start was, because it led you to pulling back, to receding. 4 of Pentacles is holding back. It's holding your cards really close to your chest. It's not letting people in, keeping secrets. It's a very like, don't come close to me card. Yeah, Devil, Page of Wands. And now it feels like you're really confronting the mom wound in August because of whatever connection is coming in that's going to trigger you. It's like with the Devil, the Page of Wands here, and then the 3 of Pentacles, you're going to have to go back and confront the self-limiting belief system that the maternal figure would have given you here, okay? Because that's what's going to keep you stuck. With that 3 of Pentacles, it's going to keep you from working with other people, and whether or not that is work, that's romance, whatever, we're always kind of tangoing with other people, right? And I feel like with this Page of Wands, people are vying for your attention here, Aquarius. Whether that is one person, many people, I don't really know. But people are definitely coming in being like, hey, I'd love to work with you. Hey, I'd love to take you out. And whatever, with this Devil, whatever this negative self-belief is that you have going on here, it's kind of putting you on the outside of that, right? Someone's like, oh, hey, here's this invitation. And you're over here being like, no, I'm good. I don't want it. And that seems to me, in this reading, it feels like it stems from the maternal wound. It stems from that because it halts your ability to receive, right? When we have an issue with the mother wound, the feminine, the divine feminine, we can't accept the love that is brought to us because we don't feel worthy of it, okay? So that's really like, I feel like that's why this wound is acting up so heavily for you this month, is because you want these things. Like, you're looking forward to them. You want them in your life. And for some reason, your brain is like, no, you can't have that. Because how you view yourself is the 3 of Pentacles. You are sort of ready to, spread your wings here and go out and branch out, but at the same time, it feels like, how do I say this? It feels like you're being very picky. And I'm going to slam you a little bit here. I don't mean that in like a very healthy way. This is like, sometimes we have, when we're hyper defensive like this, or we're just kind of like not in the best mental place to accept, we'll look for red flags. So I always use the example of like, this is you going on a date and being like, oh, they like ketchup, red flag. Is it? Or are we just looking for something? You know, I feel like with that Three of Pentacles, it's like you want teamwork and collaboration, but at the same time, you're kind of looking for reasons to not have teamwork and collaboration here, which is kind of shooting you in the foot right now. Ooh, that was fast. Yeah. Five of Pentacles, Six of Wands with the Seven of Pentacles. For a lot of you guys, it's like you've been this way for a while. Like, I feel like you've been self-sabotaging for quite some time now. Because with the Five of Pentacles, that's abandonment. So definitely leaving things behind. We have an abandonment wound for sure here. The Seven of Pentacles, which denotes time, weeks, months, years. And then the Six of Wands, which is victory. So again, it kind of feels like you're a little bit playing the line here, Aquarius, where you're like, well, I want this, but I can't give it to myself. Like, I want to do this, I want to go over here, but I'm not going to allow myself. I'm only going to allow myself to get to here instead of here. And it's almost like playing chicken with yourself is what I want to say here. It's a little bit of like a toxic ring around the rosy you have going on right now. And I feel like August is really making you confront this. You know, it's very difficult. Like, when we want to be freed from something, or we want the cycle to end, I tell all my clients, I tell all my collectives, everything screams before it dies. So the triggers are getting louder and more painful, because that means they're that much closer to being let go of. Okay, so at least try to find some solace in that, in knowing that, yes, things are really loud. Yes, your brain is sabotaging you, but it's only doing so because you're so close to letting go of it. Your superpower right now, Six of Swords, babe, you're moving on from it. You know, Six of Swords is like literally moving forward. It's a very positive card. And this is your superpower. Again, Knight of Wands, bottom of the deck here. If I could pick the cards up, you know, it's telling you again, you're ready to move on. You're heading out of this cycle. You're heading out of this phase of your life. And it's a very positive movement forward for you. Strength. It's definitely going to take some strength. Definitely going to take some, oomph. Ace of Swords, though. And the Knight of Cups. Girly, the way I'm going to say this is that the key out is in. The only way, I try not to show, I'm sorry, I know I don't show these cards for too long. Sometimes it messes, like, if you notice my camera is like super pink tonight, it's because the cards mess with the camera for some reason. But the way I heard this is the only way out is in. Okay, the only way you are going to get out of this cycle is showing yourself what you're looking for. Okay, so if you're looking for acceptance, it's showing yourself acceptance. If you're looking for love, it's loving yourself. You know, the only way you are going to be able to mitigate the effects of a negative pattern is by creating a positive pattern, and getting rid of the old negative pattern by repeating and reinforcing the new positive pattern. Okay, it feels like for a lot of you guys here, you are ready, you are moving forward, you are doing what you need to do, but you need to make sure you are on top of the mental pattern and the mental game that we're playing here. Okay, because your fear is the devil. Your fear is falling back into that old narrative, into that old way of thinking, into old cycles that you are not looking to be in anymore. The World, yeah. Knight of Wands, too. Yeah, I think a lot of you, I want to remind you guys that fear stands for false evidence appearing real. Okay, fear is in the mind. It's a mind game that our brain plays with us. Okay, and this fear that you have that you will never escape your own thoughts is a very strong self-limiting belief. Okay, first of all, our thoughts don't control us, we control them. Okay, I'm the conductor here, right? I'm controlling my meat suit. I am I call our brain the jellyfish from outer space. Okay, I am the jellyfish piloting the meat suit. I get to decide what thoughts I think and what thoughts I believe. What you guys need to start doing here is reminding yourself of that. Whenever I have a thought that I'm like, I know it's false, I know it's not real, I tell myself, sometimes even out loud, I'll be like, you know what? This is false and I don't have to believe it. It's a game changer. Okay, you guys need to start either talking to yourself out loud, doing some mirror work here, some mirror exercises. But the only way, again, out is in. The only way you're going to leave the cycle is by going inward. Okay, a lot of you guys are afraid because you don't think you have the inner strength, but you do. Okay, you are stronger than you think here, babe. Because even in your outcome, it's the Nine of Swords and the King of Cups. Babe, even when you're at your strongest here, in your King of Cups energy, emotional strength, emotional stability, you are constantly questioning yourself. Whether or not you're good enough, whether or not you're strong enough, whether or not you can do it. You have to be the voice of reason here, is what my guides just said to me. When, like, this is so dramatic how they're saying it, like, when all else is lost, I have to guide myself. I have to speak to myself. I have to be kind to myself. I have to do these things, okay? You need to be your biggest cheerleader. We go to bed with ourselves every night and we wake up with ourselves every morning. If I don't constantly cheer for myself and be my own best friend, who's gonna? Okay? The way that you guys are gonna make it through this is by literally death, supporting yourself by with death, letting that ego shed, letting go of that belief system, reminding yourself every time it comes up, oh wait, I don't have to believe that. Literally, the High Priestess again, some of you could have Pisces in your chart. With that High Priestess, death is also a card of Scorpio. I feel like a lot of you guys, this is like very strong inner work. This is not like a, I can do a couple of formulas, like math problem, and fix it. This is like you needing to talk to yourself every day. You needing to be kinder to yourself. This is like active healing, okay? A lot of you guys are, like I said, you have a connection coming in that's going to trigger the fuck out of you, okay? And it's going to bring up all of this healing, but this healing is so necessary because if you don't do it, you will never be able to actually receive what you want. What you want will show up and you will turn it away. And I know, Aquarius, that's not what you want. Okay? You got to remember, you are king here. This is your world. It's your brain. It's your thoughts. It's your world. Okay? Do not let your negative self-image and your negative self-beliefs run the ship, babe. No, absolutely not. We're going to let our positive mind and good self-image and supportive inner thoughts run our ship, not the negative. All right? All right. Let's get you an oracle card. The oracle deck I'm using is the Angelarium. This is my favorite oracle deck currently. If you've seen literally any reading from me or seen me on Twitch or anywhere, I always use this deck. I'm obsessed with it, and I love it. So, can I get a card of advice for Aquarius for August, please? Oh. Okay. I heard honorary mention. You're going to get 2 today. Okay. Interesting. I'm going to read this one first. You guys have Off. Angel of Anger. Ooh, okay. I think I know why they gave this one to you. The number is 23 for those of us into numerology. All right. It is easy to see the clear danger that comes with naked anger. Be careful, as avoidance is rarely an option. The relentless nature of this persona can only be countered with empathy, which is its weakness. Consider the ways in which your own insecurities might be inadvertently nourishing feelings of malice hiding in your shadow. Okay? This always reminds me of, like, if I am angry at something because I'm viewing myself as not having that thing, I need to go inward and ask myself, why do I think that way? Do you see what I mean? It's like that feeling of anger that we have is that insecurity hiding from us, okay? And then the other card you have is Rahab, Angel of the Deep. So a lot of water imagery here, Aquarius. A lot of you could have water in your chart, for sure. Rahab. This is number 39. Okay. This card may be a sign that there is something worth holding on to, regardless of the pain it causes. Accepting pain and punishment can be a lonely experience, but that is the true path of the faithful. Take comfort in knowing it is a well-trodden road, even if you ultimately walk it alone. Sometimes, I know it's more than sometimes, our triggers are good for us. I'll say sometimes anyway, though. Sometimes our triggers are good for us. They show us where we are hurt, and they show us where we need to heal, okay? The love that's coming in for you, the connections that are coming in for you are going to trigger you, but they are worth holding on to because they're going to show you where you need to heal to move to the life that you want, Aquarius, okay? I am going to leave your reading there, Aquarius. That is your month at a glance, okay? If this reading resonates with you, or if my reading style maybe just resonates with you, do consider liking and subscribing. We are on the road to 200 subscribers, which is exciting. If you would like to interact with me on a live basis, I do go live on Twitch 3 days a week. So you can find me Wednesday and Friday from 6 to 8 p.m. EST, as well as Saturday from 4 to 6 p.m. EST. I do additionally have a Discord server that you can join if you do find me on Twitch. We post the Discord server. It's a fabulous community of just like very supportive, uplifting, you know, girly pops. So if you want to join that, that door is open. So yeah, Aquarius, I leave you with that. I hope to see you over on Twitch one of these days. And if not, it's okay. I will catch you in the next video. All right? Bye.